welcome to Spurs Asian TV. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to wherever you're around the world. Right, today I'm just doing a special show for Keshav. Right, I know he's frustrated. Right, and I'm going to cook him a bit. Before we let him rant, we didn't do too well yesterday in the Carabao Cup round 16 as expected. But Liverpool didn't do well. We put out a bunch of under 21s to play that game. We put out I don't know what I'm confused nowadays. But since Frank has come, I've been a bit confused. But I'll give him time. But I think for this season, I'll just call him the Teflon Frank. Right? Nothing will stick on him at the moment. We can't criticize him. We can't say anything bad about him. But the truth is that I'm confused. Right? Even when we win, I'm confused. When we lose, I'm more confused. Right? I'm confused with the lineup. I'm confused with the substitutes. I'm confused with everything that he's doing at the moment. So it is what it is. But guys, we're still third in the league, man. Think about that, right? Let it settle in, right? After all that things that's been going on. But I know Keshav, our Spurs fan base is totally bipolar, right? When we had Ange is that bad. We lost so many games, but we were attacking, right? We accepted the style of play and all that. Then we didn't accept the style of play when we got Mourinho, Conte. But now Frank is here. We're supposed to, let him have his go, right? So all I can say is Frankie goes to Hollywood. But I'm going to say this to you, Keshav, right? I warned you 2 years ago, right? Moyes out, right? Look where you are now.
Thank you, Chris, for the comment.
Moyes out, and look where. Right, yeah. Big up to Chris, right? Big up Chris. Hope you're doing well, Chris Agamba, right? The number one Agamba, right, in the Spurs fan base, right? And of course, he's a distant cousin of Holly Agamba. Right. Hope we're all doing well. So Keshav, right? I haven't seen in a long time. Hope you're doing well. I think we've been doing this for about 4 years now, right? On and off.
Yeah.
Right. From
right,
you
yes.
Studying university, from you transition, right? And now I don't know what you're doing. Are you working? You're doing your own business, or I mean, you're not free most of the time. But I mean, you did send me a WhatsApp, and you were I think you're frustrated, and I think you need a rant, right? You need a big rant out here, right? So go ahead, Keshav. This show is more or less set up for you, and like you say, it's a review of, how would you call it, your whole season now.
Well, thank you for coming back. It's been quite a long time. I don't know. I think it was 3 months ago since I think I last came on. So
Maybe
I think that time, the last show I did, I think was Kudos going to Spurs. If I'm not mistaken.
That's the one. Yeah, Kudos going to Spurs.
I think that was the last show, but that wasn't a show which I was happy with because Kudos went. But fast forward now, it's not been good really to say. Very frustrated, and it's just how shall I put it? I'm very frustrated. I'm not really pleased what I'm seeing. It's not looking good from what from what I said to you. I think last season we scraped relegation last season, and I think we were lucky to do it. We had good players last season that we were able to get out of the zone. And to be honest, there were 3 teams worse than us. I'm being honest. There were 3 teams worse than us, and we
4 teams.
Okay, I'll say
4 teams worse than. Yeah, we were lower than you guys, if I'm not mistaken, right? You were 16 and we were 17. Think about that.
4 teams. Okay, 3. I would say 3 to 4 worst teams in that situation. We sort of managed to get out of it, and I think at that moment we sort of we scraped the surface, and we had luck in our way to in last season. And I thought this was the season. Potter was going to get the players he wanted, and I thought we were going to revamp the squad. And now looking at this, looking at it from afar, I was hoping that this transfer window was sort of the propeller to get the signings Potter wanted. Don't get me wrong, which he has, but it's not the signings in which full sort of blast of transfers. If you honestly look at the transfer window which we've had this season, I don't think it's been a good transfer window. We had signed Hermansen, which was for 25 million from Leicester, which to be honest is, I would say he's an okay signing, average signing. And then you look at the likes of we got Walker Peters from Southampton, which was a free transfer. Don't get me wrong, he's an average signing as well. I think he will be good. He'll be a good rotation player, but he won't be a good first team player. That's all my honest thoughts on him. And then we got Diouf from Slavia Prague, who I think is a very good defender. You're very young. He's an attacking sort of wing back who can push up forward. And in terms of centre back options, we got Igorin from Brighton, who I think he hasn't played much, so I can't give my thoughts on him. And then comes in the midfield, which I thought, okay, we signed two young players in Fernandes and Magasa, who I thought, okay, will give us athleticism. And then we signed a striker, which was Callum Wilson. Now come to Callum Wilson. Now I think last season I was saying that we needed a striker, which we didn't get. I mean, a striker that could score 20 goals. Now in this type of market, we can't seem to find a striker that would suit our play. We had, a couple of years, Moyes used Arnautovic. We had Antonio, who played there for a couple of seasons. Now we've left. So in that case, we've been using a false sort of wingers as our own strikers to per se. And it's been difficult for us to find strikers. So we basically find the cheap alternative to find strikers. And Callum Wilson is supposedly our target, in which we got as our striking option. Now, I'm being honest here that we had Fulkrug, who's, let's be honest, an injury-prone striker, and we have Callum Wilson, which we bought, who's also injury-prone. I'm not to say that they are bad signings, it's just that we are not in a situation to get these players who are at the peak of their career, at the end of their career. We're not at this stage now to get this done. So when I looked over at the beast of how we've managed to structure it, I would say it's okay. It's not a great, I would say it's average. We have not covered most of the positions. The number of positions which I was very shocked we didn't get is a winger. Kudos. Where's the replacement for him? This is what I mean. Where's the replacement for Kudos? Midfield, I still don't think it's good. I'll come to all this. And when you look at how now coming into when we started the season, now I've been keeping a very close eye, not in terms of the players, but in terms of our attitude. I'll start with how we did in the start of the season. Sunderland, very poor performance, 3-0. Yes, that is, I did not expect that, but I expected it to be a very competitive game because they're coming back from the Premier League, it's a stadium of life. It's not an easy game, which I completely understand. But the players have to be up for games. It's West Ham. We're a big club, and you should be able to sort of compete. We didn't compete, and this is the sort of I'll come to all this, but this is the sort of things which I didn't expect. A 3-0 defeat. So I was like, okay, I'll sort of give a leeway. It's the first game also. I was a bit irritated in that first game. I was like, okay. And then the second game we lost. I think it was, I don't know who it was, but I think it was Chelsea we lost. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 5-1. We lost to Chelsea, 5-1. That was, I think, one of the worst games, I think, since last season. I can go on and say, probably the worst defensive performance. All over the place, shockingly defensively poor. Midfield was very poor. Everything's poor. Then it continued going on from I don't know, we played Brentford, which was a few games ago, Palace, and I think this continued on and on until Potter got the sack, which was Palace. Now, I'm not saying, and when I look back at these games, and I think Nottingham Forest was the only game which I thought we played well. I think because we've been having this must-win games, which is sort of like a free pass to get out of the situation which you're in. You have this one win, this one last saloon game to win your game for the manager, which you suddenly win, which gives you the next 3 games to keep your job, which I think it's true. And I think Potter did himself, I think, his own favor to win that game, but didn't back it up with the Palace win. So I think in that sense, the same issues emerged after that Forest game, and that's how he got the sack. Not to be rude to Potter, but I think I keep saying it comes back to the same issue. We can have managers coming and going. Don't get me wrong, I like Potter. I like what he's been saying, but you see, the problem which I'm having is Yes, Moyes aside has done well. Don't get me wrong. I'm putting Moyes aside. He's done. I appreciate all he's done. But there comes a time where you
But you wanted him out.
I
You
did.
wanted him out for
Yeah,
two,
I
three
wanted it out
seasons.
because of the style of play, which is already fallen off. The results weren't going, and our team wasn't playing well after when we're collapsing. The results weren't performing. We can have the style of play going on for 2 to 3 years. Then after that, teams will find you out and the real of performances will go. So this is what I'm saying. Moyes will have the peak and then he'll start to go. Same as any manager. So what I'm saying is what was wrong with Eugene was when the owners were going to give a contract to Moyes. I think it was February. I think I said this to you. I think February, and they took the contract away. And then the fans were saying, where was the contract? So we were actually the fans were in a limbo. What situation we in? And then it was confirmed after a few months, Moyes left. So I was like, okay. Then we got Lopetegui, which I thought was okay. Lah. It was an average appointment. Not surprising, not like great. But then he did not. He wasn't a great appointment after all. So if you think about it, all the appointments we've made after Moyes has all not been good. It's been a decline, and this is the mess we've been putting. It's been a complete decline from where we become. And I'm not being.
No, but
I'm being
all I
thoughtful.
can say is that, right, you should look at the realistic side of your club, right? You said you're a big club, and the only problem is that, right, you haven't brought in the players, right, to meet the expectations of the fans, right? And why you're in this dire scenario now is that, right, because when you sacked Moyes, right, you brought in Lopetegui, right? Lopetegui was supposed to bring you to the next level. He couldn't bring you to the next level because you didn't get the players that you wanted. The problem is not for you guys here now, right? I want to tell you this straight to your face. Spurs had a problem. It was the owners. It didn't matter which manager came in, right? They were supported properly. And that's why we turned to shit. But our expectations were much higher than your guy. You understand,
I,
right? But
I understand what you're trying to
the thing is
say.
that you got the Conference League Cup, right? That was the highlight of your, I think, for you in your lifetime,
Yes,
right?
okay.
Because that's one cup that you've seen, right? You agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
And whilst that was happening, right? Whilst that was happening, I mean, a lot of fans like you and a lot of other fans, Hammer fans, right, wanted Moyes out because you couldn't stand the style of play, right? But you said that it was coming on a decline. Every football team has its ups and its down. So while you try to maintain that, I can tell Spurs as if your brother, right? He's a Liverpool fan. The guys, don't forget, no, Keshav's got a twin brother, and he's a Liverpool fan, right? And now he's gone to 5 straight losses. I don't know how he's handling it. Right? So all I was not say 5 straight losses, it's got 5 losses, apart from the Champions League game, right? It is what it is, right? I'm sure that you guys both are having your dilemma at the moment. But what I'm saying is that your owners didn't support the managers, didn't get the players they wanted. So when the problem came that when Moyes went out, Lopetegui came in, right? He couldn't get a tune out of the players, right? Are you telling me Paqueta is a bad player? There are a few players in your squad. Bowen, I pity Bowen. You can say no. He's a talented player, but he's stuck with this teammates and all that, and he can't move forward, right? And the same, I tell the truth, right? It's like what's the guy's name? Noble. No,
Yes, Mark
remember
Noble,
your
yes.
Captain Noble? Yeah, he was stuck with West Ham forever because he was loyal to West Ham. He was a talented player. He didn't move on, right? Like even now, Jared Bowen, I can say that he's stuck in that scenario. If I was Bowen, I would leave. Yes, but he might leave because if you guys do get relegated, right, this season, I'm sure he's gonna leave. He's not gonna stick around, right? But the thing is that the news going around, Paqueta wants to leave now, right? But what I'm saying is that it's the owners that doesn't support the manager that's brought you into this dilemma. And whilst the blame goes to the manager, right, you've got Lopetegui gone. Potter, to tell the truth, right, I even don't even know what to say about Potter now. He's, apart from Brighton, he's failed everywhere he's gone, right? And now he's the Swedish manager. Think about that, right? He's the manager of Sweden, right? His job is try to save their World Cup ambitions. You know, they lost to teams like Kosovo and all that. So let's see what that happens. And now after Potter, you've brought in Nuno, right? What style of football does Nuno play, bro? Think about it, right? When we brought in Nuno, we didn't accept it, right? Nuno was the transition between Mourinho and Conte. While we were having all those pragmatic managers, right, and we tried to make Nuno play attacking football. Whilst Nuno, or whilst he was he at Wolves? He was at Wolves, right? He developed a very well system of playing a three at the back, you know. But when he came to Spurs, we forced him to play four at the back. So that screwed Nuno up, right? And don't forget, right? Nuno first 3 games in charge, right? He won 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, right? But our fan base couldn't take it. So your fan base and my fan base, right, are more or less the same. We want that flair. We want the attacking football, right?
Yes,
but if you
I do agree. I do agree, Eugene. I do agree. Understand.
Brushy, right? Brushy, yep. Loving the demise of Liverpool. Yeah, Brushy, it's big up to you, right? No, you do agree with me. But the problem at the moment now, right? You brought in Nuno. Do you think Nuno can salvage anything out of this group of players? Is it the players' fault? Is your quality so low that now you're fighting relegation, right? Or like you said last season, not only you were lucky, we were lucky as Spurs, right? Because by January, the 3 bottom teams were more or less confirmed relegated. Nobody else could get relegated after that, right? So that's why what Ange did, he threw all his eggs into one basket and focused on the Europa League. And we won that Europa League. So, you know, but don't forget, after 17 losses, Ange got sacked too. Now we got Frank, right? Later, most of you have talk about Frank, right? Between you and I, how we think about it, right? You've gone through, I think, 2 years. In these 2 years, right? 2 years, you've gone through Lopetegui, Potter, now you've got Nuno. If in the January transfer window, right, Sullivan and what's her name? Brady?
Yes.
Is it Brady? If Sullivan and Brady doesn't actually bring in the players that Nuno wants, right, I don't think Nuno will last too long too, because to tell the truth, your fan base will start jumping on him. And don't forget, right, you're playing Newcastle this weekend. Is it at home or is it away?
Home.
Newcastle at home, right? And you tell the truth, right? Newcastle, the Carabao Cup yesterday I did a watch along, 4 a.m. Malaysian time until 6 a.m. right? I see Newcastle is a big, strong team. You know, they out physical us, they out pressed us, they out everything us, right? That's why they won 2-0, right? We weren't even close to it. And to tell the truth, I don't think our boys were up for it, and they really wanted it. We could see it in it, right? So now I can tell you, right, West Ham, after this sacking of Moyes, they've been digging that hole that you've been in, right, deeper and deeper and deeper. How are you going to get out of it?
Well, good explanation.
And Keshav, are you ready for relegation? I mean, you've been there before, right?
No, this. If you ask me, Eugene, I supported West Ham in 2015. So it's not. I've not experienced it. But if I were to have to, you know, it's not. Of course, it's not easy. And I would. What is it? I don't know how it would feel like. But you have to accept for what it is, you know. But what I would say is, like what you say, what it comes down to is the fact that West Ham. I'm going to keep saying, because it is true. The owners have not handled this club well. The recruitment has, I don't know, used to, but every time West Ham have handled recruitment, we have not targeted the right players to suit the manager's system. We have not targeted the right players to play in terms to their strengths, and this is what has caused it. It's like a hemorrhaging of money every single transfer window which West Ham have done. This is what has caused us right now to be in the situation in. And one more thing is that why I think we're suffering in the Premier League now is because other teams like Sunderland and Burnley, they're being very competitive now, which is what we are struggling with. If you see the past 2 games against Brentford and Leeds, which I can give an clear example, West Ham are unable to hit the ball. We're not showing commitment. We're not showing attitude, which are actually very simple things to do. I'm not asking much. Yes, we've only won. I'm telling you, we only won 1 out of 9. It's not good for our club. What we're doing now is we're not giving our fans hope. And
you won 1 game. Who did you beat?
Forest. That's the 1 game we won. After that, we've not won.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was the time that I think Nuno was going through his PMS or something, right? He was really like out, throwing the everyone under the bus and all that.
Yes, but how do I say? I already said that these players are, to me, what I'm seeing now is the players are not showing any fight. I'm not seeing any. I'm not seeing any commitment. If I were to see like last few games that they're showing commitment, then I'll say okay that at least they're showing something. But when I watch these games, I don't see the effort. Need to fight for the shirt, tackle for the ball. You need to be rugged. We don't have defenders who are rugged. Right now, like Todibo and Kilman, I'm sorry, they're not good. They're not Premier League level defenders. When we had like Moyes type of defenders, we had Dawson and we had what was that? We had Obona. Those are what we call proper defenders who will hit the ball, will tackle. That's what we need right now because we're in the situation we're in. We need players like this. Kilman, I'm sorry, we bought him for 40 million. I don't know what he's done. He's actually very poor. I think he's like probably championship level. He can't hit the ball. He cannot do the B6 also, proper passing. He can't do anything. And then Todibo also is like, how do I say, very like lackadaisical. He's like, you get what I mean.
But Keshav, even Todibo, right? You talk about Todibo. We were going for Todibo at one time, right? About two years ago. We were linked to him too, right? He's not to say, to tell you the truth, right? I don't think the players that you have lack the quality. I think at the moment, right, the players that you have, right, lack the commitment that you've been saying. I think somehow along the way, right, they've lost themselves and they don't have the heart to play for West Ham anymore, right? They don't have the heart to play for the manager. After Lopetegui got sacked, right, even when Potter came in, right, there was no improvement. Like you said, you just scraped through last season with the luck of actually having three worst teams coming up from the championship, right? But this season is totally different. Those three championship teams, right, are looking that they're going to survive, right?
Which is a worry. It's not to say I am concerned because I would have hoped we had a better start, but I think from what we looked at, it's the fans have a right to be concerned. We employed our second manager in this season, which is not good. We cannot afford to sack Nuno right now. We cannot keep going on this manager loophole, keep sacking. We cannot do this. We have to back the manager.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand. You see, like for Spurs, right, last season, right, we sucked at defense, right, because we knew Ange's style, right. He doesn't care about defending. He just wants the all-out attack, right. And when he did that all-out attack, right, he was able to survive 2 seasons with Spurs, including winning the cup, right. But the thing is that somehow or another, Frank comes in. He's more or less solidified our defense. Do you think Nuno will be able to do that, to give you a chance, right, to at least fight for something to not be relegated, right? Go back to the basics or try to hammer out nil-nil draws and all that.
The problem
if you can't do that, right, put 11 men behind the goalposts.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I understand. The problem is, I'm not confident. I've gone to a stage. It's just that at this moment, looking at the fixtures, we've got Villa, we've got City, we've got Liverpool, we've got United. All these tough fixtures coming. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the score like fixture this time. Like, oh shit, we are doomed. I'll say because I'm actually worried. It's right. I have right to be concerned.
To tell the truth, you're going to your the month of death or something like that, right? We are going through that too. You get what I'm saying? We got Chelsea coming up. I think we got MU coming up. We just played Newcastle. November isn't a good month for us. I think we played even Arsenal somewhere along the way, right? Or somewhere early in December and late November. But what I'm saying, for being a West Ham fan, you're like what, 19th now?
Yeah. We've only got what? I think 4 out of 27. If we keep losing the next week, I think we cut adrift, and I think if we keep losing, like, let's say the next 4 or 5, I think we're gone already.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that if you bring Nuno in, right, do you think Nuno will go back, tell the boys, right, defending, let's start from there first. Build the defense, be solid there. But the problem is that
I don't think we have the players to do it. That's what I feel.
Come on, you got Todibo and a few other players
there.
I
understand, Eugene, but the problem is
you have the quality, but whether the players will put out their commitment for Nuno or not, that's what you have to see.
I understand that. I do understand.
How many games have Nuno been in charge in?
So far, it's been he took charge against Everton, Brentford, and Everton, Arsenal, Brentford. So far 4 games. He's managed, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
3 away games so far and 1 home
yeah.
game.
Big up
And
Robert.
so
Big
far,
up
the
Robert,
protests are,
the Newcastle fan. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so far,
So
the Western protests are going on, and we want this board out. We want this board out, and I think it's right because let's be honest, this board has been, it's
okay, you're talking
a
about,
very
okay,
difficult
Keshav.
situation.
You're talking about. I think previously Gold and Sullivan, and Gold has passed away. Now it's
Mm.
Sullivan and Braid, right? When you're talking about you want the board out, right? Are you talking about you want the owners out or you want the people running the club out? You guys saying
We want
they're
the
two
people.
different.
We want somebody else to replace them, either in a more of people who can operate in
Buyout?
terms of more operations. Oh yes, and we want new owners in either way. To if he asks me personally, I would want that because these owners can't operate the football club. You can clearly see it. How we've hired
Yeah,
2 managers in a row, Eugene,
yeah,
they don't know how to manage a group of players.
yeah.
I
Now
mean, that shows you the.
Robert says, right, he's a Newcastle fan. He's gonna hammer you 4-1. I think 4-0. Let
I
me
don't.
be the
I've
correct
I've
score.
got no expectations on Sunday. I'll be watching the game, but I got no expectations. I'm just going to go like that because I
Okay.
I don't. I'm just like
No. Okay. How long has Nuno been here? How many games has he managed? 3 games,
4
including
games.
the
And he came.
including the cup.
The first game he came in, which was the Everton game. I saw a lot of good signs with him. The first thing I
Mhm.
saw was
Did you lose or win?
we drew the game, and I thought
Oh,
he
you drew.
actually did well. We countered attacked well. And Everton is a very tough side. We know that because of Moyes and
Mhm.
all. But I thought
Well,
we defended well. We were very aggressive, which I like. But then after that game, I don't know. No, after the Arsenal game, us because he had that break and the players all in internationality, then he suddenly changed the lineup, which I got very irritated. He completely changed the backline, which I know. I don't know what you guys know, but he basically he put a left back in a right back. But this is what he did. The Brentford game, which he lost, he put a left back in a right back position, and I think a right back and a left back, something like that. And he did it in the Leeds game as well, but in a 5 at the back. So basically left back playing as a right wing back, and yeah.
so that
Basically,
means he played a
inverted
3-5-2
game.
then,
Yeah, for the
or a
Leeds game.
5-3-2 for Leeds game. Yeah.
Basically, lah.
No, but even if you play 5 at the back, you still can't defend. Then you will have a problem, right? But okay, he's been there 4 games, right? And to tell the truth, I think for a manager in a crisis situation now, right, even including Arnie's slot, having international breaks along the way, right, doesn't help. Right? I was saying yesterday, right? The problem with Liverpool is that if they were supposed to go for a real rebuild, right, they should have sold Salah, they should have sold Van Dijk, and they should have revamped the back four, right? But for you guys, you don't have the money to do that. Number one. Okay, let's say I'm not going to say you don't have the money. Your owners ain't going to splash 500 million
Yeah, of
pounds
course, yeah.
and rebuild that whole squad.
Yeah.
You have to accept the reality. I have to accept that reality too, because under Levy, we never did that. And you talk about bad signings, we've had bad signings too. Look at Richarlison, look at Solanke, right? Look at our front three, right? They're toothless. You get what I'm saying? They're impotent. You get what I'm saying? But one bright thing is that we brought in Xavi, to tell the truth, he's not adapted well at the moment to the Premier League, right? And the only player that's standing out, so only 2 players are standing out that we brought in as new is Paulinho and Kudos, right? But the problem is that we can't rely on Paulinho and Kudos for the rest of the season
Yeah, of
because
course,
we are playing Europe, right? And now we're out of Carabao Cup. We are playing so many games along the way. That's why I was very frustrated with the lineup yesterday. The lineup showed we weren't that interested in that game, right? It's either if you really I'm not that interested in that game, right? Revamp that whole lineup, put up the youngsters and all that, right? Mix it around with some of the second stringers and put out the youngsters and let them have a go. But Frank did what Frank did, right? Confused me more and more. But what are you going to expect, right, Nuno to do from now? You're going to play Newcastle. After Newcastle, you're talking about a run of Liverpool, Manchester United, and who else?
I think we've got.
Chelsea.
I think Villa. I think some
And Villa.
fixtures we've had.
Aston Villa is not a team to be taken lightly, right? We all know that, right? They have the quality. You get what I'm saying? So how are you going to survive that? And do you think, right, if let's say out of the 5 games that's coming up, right? You can't even garner 3 points out of those games, right?
Correct.
You guys, like you be kind of float, you'll be drifting off in the relegation waters. You get what I'm saying? But let's hope, right? I think the only thing is you can do now is hope that actually Nuno, right, figures out a way, right, to bolster up the defense, right, and try to find ways to give Jared Bowen some support.
Well, I think the only way which I can think of right now is that he has the January transfer window, which I'm sorry is, to be honest, this is the season which you have to spend, because we don't know whether we're going to stay up or whether we're going to go down. So I'm sorry, these owners have to spend. Because we are in a situation now which is, it's like a fight or flight situation, whether you have nowhere to run. You're in a situation where you have to either survive or just accept, how you're in this relegation fight. So what I would say is West Ham have to back Nuno. No choice. Spend
No,
100
but
million.
you spend, right?
Defenders.
You're talking about spend. January transfer window is the hardest to spend. Number one.
Oh yeah, of
Number
course.
two is that 100 million ain't enough.
Yeah.
You were talking about 20 goals per season striker in the league, right? That will cost you at least 80 million pounds.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know.
There are no more cheap options anymore, and it gets more expensive in the January transfer window. Unless you're lucky, right? You pick up players that needs to play, right? Because the World Cup is next year. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right? And these players needs to play to prove their form to their country managers. There are a handful of, I think, quite a lot of players out there, right, who are in that position. And if they have the talent, right, do you think that they will want to go to West Ham?
Well,
there's so many other teams that needs players like that.
Well, this is where what is it when Nuno was at the reason I think why Nuno left Forest was because of Edu was there. I think Edu was there. The former Arsenal sporting director was there because he was the one handling transfers, and Jorge Mendes was the one that wanted control. So now Jorge Mendes is now hopefully Jorge Mendes can help us, because I think I don't want our owner to meddle this transfer window. Honestly, I don't want, because how many times he's meddled this transfer. Last the summer transfer window, the January transfer window. Oh my god, I can't tell you how many he's done. But this is to me, this is the most important window. Really, the most important. We have to. Sorry, we have to get this right. If we can't get this right, I think we're doomed. We actually do. I can't see right now. I can't see a way out, because these players need to back up their ideas. They have to find a way. If you ask me, just the Newcastle game, very simple. I'm not asking for pretty football. I'm just asking simple. Defend, make a 1-0, play like a Stoke City. Oh no, I'm at a situation where
now you don't care. Aren't you, right? You were cursing him all the way.
No, but what to do?
So you deserve this, Keshav. After this, I think
I wouldn't say deserve. I'm accepting of the decision.
I'm going to say this, Keshav. Ever since Daniel Levy got pushed out of the club, right? We are cursed at home. Have you noticed that? We're cursed at home. Our away form is brilliant, right? But our home form sucks. So I think Daniel Levy has put the curse on the stadium, and we're gonna suffer like shit this season in Washington City, unless I hope the Lewis's will find some black magic woman or something to come in and break that curse, right? But for you guys, right, how many players do you actually rate in your squad that actually can lift you out of this scenario, right? The players that I see that you have, right, that, let's say, if I'm a Spurs, if I want to get players from you, we've really taken kudos from you, right? That's why, if we went for Jared Bowen, right, I think the fan base would have meltdown. Or we were very strongly linked to Paqueta, remember? At one period of time, before we got Paulinho, right? After we got in Paulinho, I was saying, I don't think we want Paqueta now. You get what I'm saying? Right? But we still need an actual, how we call, hey, big up Kumar. Yeah, hope you're doing well. Right? Yeah. Spurs, what? Still in the PL Premier League. Yeah, I know. We're third in the league. Woohoo! right? Right. But as you can see it, the only two players that I would take from your team is at the moment is most probably Bowen and Paqueta. Apart from that, what other talents have you got? Even to tell the truth, right? You got our academy player guy, Keshav. You know, Kyle Walker Peters was from our academy.
Well, yeah,
Think about it.
yeah, but the problem is our players are, how do I say, they're inconsistent. They only turn up when they want to. If you ask me, if who are the most consistent players right now, I think like hard grafters, I would just say Bowen. I won't say like anybody else. I would say no. Paketa, to be honest, has not been good.
This season, I
Honestly,
think it
nobody's
hasn't
going to
been
take
good.
Paketa out. Rather, if you ask me whether to sell him January, I honestly take it because he's not been good. He's really not. I think after that, the betting allegations, I think his form has not been up to it. He's not been up to it.
Oh,
He's
okay,
not sure.
you're talking about selling players, right? How many players can you sell? How many players can you buy in the January transfer window, right? To actually help you survive this relegation battle,
I don't know. We have
right?
to see. We have to see. I'm not too sure how many, but if you ask me what we need to fix, number one, we have to get a striker. I'm not talking about a striker to get us out of the relegation. Not that's what I mean. And then the second thing is you have to get defenders that can, first of all, defend, get clean sheets. These are things which we need urgently. And yeah, because right now we're in a situation which we cannot. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I mean, this is the situation we cannot like. I already accepted it because of how we've been playing, and I'm very shocked with the way we've been playing. Because considering the players we have, I wasn't expecting us to be in this position. I was expecting probably Burnley or Sunderland, but I'm giving credit to this team because they've actually competed. But you know what? I think because of
Bro, you to tell the truth, right? Sunderland has spent how much? At least 200 million.
yeah, I think,
If I'm not
they
mistaken.
spent, I think, yeah, quite a lot of money. But you know what is
200 million. Yeah, but and they brought in proper players.
yeah,
Yes,
correct. There is no
right?
proper place. The problem with us is we don't know who to target. That's the thing. That's always been our thing, Eugene. Every season, we don't know who we're going to target. Our recruitment has always been a mess. Every season, we always is a mixed match. Our players are mixed match. One player suited to counter attack, another player suited to a passing game, another player suited to a tiki taka. You get what I mean? It's not functional. It's not like okay, this manager, like the managers we've had, right? Okay, Lopetegui is a more possession based. The players don't suit the possession based. The owners get rid of the whole team, the backroom staff. They go get another manager like Potter, who's more suited to like a pass, more of a tiki taka, I would say. You pass the ball out, get the goalkeeper, you know. But that doesn't suit our place. Then you go get another manager which is which is suited to counter that. So you see what I mean? It's not it's not stabilized. You get what I mean? You need a few years to get a team stabilized. This is what the problem is with our team. We don't have players who are stabilized or able to get the chemistry is not there. It's all mix match. You
Okay,
understand?
let's say we go back to Moyes, right?
Mm.
He was given at least 3 years, right? He was there for
Yeah,
3
3
years
to
before
4
he
years.
went.
Yes, correct. 3 to
Yeah,
4 years.
he was 3 to 4 years there, and he was building something up. And oh yeah, Kumar, come on, you hammers. Isn't that your brother?
No, that's my father.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, big up, Mr. Kumar. Right now, Moyes was there,
Mm.
right? Is he a West Ham fan?
What noise?
No, your father.
No, Liverpool.
Oh, your father's a Liverpool fan. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you've lost. Yeah, Liverpool's going down, right? Yeah. No, not Liverpool is going down, but Liverpool ain't going to be challenging this season, right? Unless Slot gets his act together, right? But, all right. Moyes had about 4 years there.
Mm.
While he was building it up, he won you a cup, right? And the fan base couldn't take it because of his pragmatic style, right? He wanted the attacking style. Then you got rid of Moyes, you brought in Lopetegui. Lopetegui is a possession-based, right, style of football. You know, Lopetegui was touted at one period of time because he was a Real Madrid manager, and then he went out to manage Spain and all that, blah blah blah. Right, the CV was there, but he was never ever proven in Premier League. Correct? Because a lot of people
He did manage Wolves. He did manage Wolves, and he did. I think I'll say okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, he did manage Wolves. Yeah, and then he got frustrated with Wolves because
yes, of the
Wolves was the owners didn't want to give him the money.
Yeah.
Right. That's why he left. Right. He threw toys on the pram too, and he left. And you guys got him. Right. And then when he landed with you guys, I think he was put back in the same dilemma. He wasn't given the quality players that he wanted. You get what I'm saying? So, and whilst that was happening, I don't think he was given time to rebuild. Right? Was there for how long? 1.5 years?
No. Lopetegui, he came in August, I think, last year, and he got sacked. No, sorry, he got he came in August last year. He got sacked this beginning of this year.
So more or less.
End of this last year, I think, somewhere around there.
So that means he was there for a year, and you guys didn't give him a chance, and you brought in Potter, and now Potter, as you could see, right? Some other Potter had about a season, right? About 1 year.
Potter's had probably say 8 months, because he came in January this year, January. Yeah.
Right.
So I think he had roughly 8 months, and Lopetegui had 5 months. So if you look at it, it's not really no stability, it's very short term, which I'm not. This is why we cannot take the board anymore. This is why what I'm asking is we need to get back to basics. This is what I feel. Reset is needed, because I'm not liking what I'm seeing. It's the same chop and change.
Keshav, if you go back to basics, right, that means you have to accept, right? Most probably you'll be relegated.
Yeah, well, the problem is if we get relegated.
My question to you, right? If you get relegated, right, would Nuno stay with you guys?
Well, no. He's not going to.
No. Let's say if you get relegated, right, and Nuno stays on, right, and starts that rebuild in the championship, right, and bring you guys back up again, right, then maybe you say you have that continuity. You understand? But if you sack Nuno, if you sack Nuno now, who is going to become the West Ham manager?
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. But what I think,
Oh God, I had a thought in my mind. Big Ange is going to be your manager.
Okay, that's not going to happen, because he doesn't have any championship experience. If we do go down, what I do feel is might be like Gary O'Neill, that type. So I'm not thinking about relegation. I'm thinking is the next.
Sure, bro. What do you mean you're not thinking about relegation?
Of course, that would be a close at the back of your mind, but you don't want to think of it at the forefront. Right?
Okay, you have 4 points out of 27.
Yeah, of course, yes, but they say you want to try and have hope, but the problem is, yes, there's no hope at the moment, but you have to take it game by game. I know it's not looking good, but what to do? This is the situation, mastermind.
The only hope you have now, right? Hope that Nuno goes in there and actually does something with that defense.
Yeah, I really hope. I don't think he's bad, Eugene. I really don't. He's not a bad manager. It's just that he's been dealt with these type of players who's not performing up to their level. Very simple. These players actually are good. It's not they're okay. It's just that they're not performing they're not showing good attitude. They're not putting their high commitment. They're not doing the basics on the pitch. Putting the effort or heart and soul in the team. They're not doing any of that. It's actually very simple basics. I know I'm not like Bernie, for example. When you come up to the championship, you want to put everything on the line. That's what if you ask me, I'd rather go down with heart and commitment rather than like this, Eugene. Honestly, I'd rather, because what we're doing now is accepting, right? Like what we're doing. We're just being lazy and accepting the fact.
No, but it's only 9 games in.
I know it's 9 games in, but what I'm saying is the run of
games. Let's say the next 5 games, right? You write it off, right? And let's say you somehow or another you scrape 3 points there. That gets you 7 points, right? That will be 7 out of 50, out of 42.
Oh God, that's done already.
Yeah, that's 7 out of 42. But that will bring you up to 14 games, right? And you have another 26 games.
Yeah,
sorry, 24 games. 24 games. Sorry, 14 games, 38 games, right?
24 games. 24 games, correct? Yes.
Yeah. 24 games, right? And 24 games, you're talking about another 60, 70 over points.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough, you could scrape another 30 points out of those 70 points. That will put you about 37 points, right? That more or less will scrape you through. Big up, Eva, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we lost yesterday. Yeah. Eva man's from Hong Kong, right? One of my loyal channel supporters, right? So you are going to that calculation now, right? The games that are tough, right, might actually turn out to games that you might garner points from. You get what I'm saying? Let's say tomorrow, right? Sorry, on Sunday, right? You go to you're playing at home or you're going to
we're playing at home.
You're playing at home, right? Nuno doesn't have the confidence to go out and attack Newcastle. He has to come up with a game plan, right? He has to solidify the defense, right? And somehow or another grind out a 0-0.
Yeah, we have to come up with something because we cannot keep defending
he has to come
like
with
this.
something to get the points, right?
Yeah.
You know, so those type of games, right, that you think that you're going to write it off and you're going to lose, you might gain points there. It's those games that you think that you might have a chance to win. Those games are the games that, you know, that your defensive frailty will show up because you give space to opponents, right? Like you said, you play a Leeds, you play a Sunderland, right? You play a Burnley. Have you played Leeds, Sunderland? You really played Sunderland?
You
really played Leeds?
Yeah, we've played Brentford, we've played Chelsea, we've played Arsenal, we've played Spurs, we've played who else? Huh?
You played us?
Yeah, we played you.
We beat you, right?
3-0.
Okay, I can't remember. No, we beat you 3-0. Right, nowadays, I can't remember much of that. Yeah. But okay, if you come to the point is, you talk about to tell the truth, right? You can't even bring Southern Leeds and Burnley into it, right? They are much stronger than you. Let's say you're gonna play. You really beaten Forest.
Yeah,
that's one thing, right? The weak team, right? The other weak team that comes up is Wolves, right? Because they are
Wolves are bad. Wolves are bad.
Yeah, but the performances they put out, the performance ain't bad.
Yes.
Yeah, their performances ain't bad, but the problem is someone other, maybe the rock of the luck or whatever, they ain't getting the games, right? Think about it. Wolves came to Spurs. I know you had the Benny curse on the stadium and all that bullshit, right? But somehow or another, they played. You know, they more or less outplayed us in Spurs. You can say at home, but somehow or another, maybe our quality raised a bit, and we got the equalizer at the very, very end of the game. Yes, they could score one goal, but they couldn't score more. But they were hanging on to it, right? So maybe games like that you are expecting to go out and win, but you might lose those games, right? One of the teams that you're looking around at, right? You already played Everton, you drew, okay?
Yeah.
But of course you're gonna play them in the reverse fixtures too.
Well,
right?
we've got Burnley coming up.
Most probably you might beat, bro. Liverpool.
Oh yeah, Liverpool somehow. Yeah, see, this is. I mean, we've got tough games coming up. This is why I don't have any. I'm looking at this only first game. No need to look at all the games.
You're playing Liverpool soon, right? Don't be surprised, right? You might beat Liverpool because they are going through their.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. Right? But come to it, right? Since we talk so much about your team, what are your thoughts about our team right now with Frank in charge? Have you been watching our games?
Yeah, I have been watching. Except I don't like the fact Kudus game. That's for certain. Yeah, but I'm not keeping a close. I've been watching the highlights and all, so I know sort of what Spurs are like playing and all. I think when I heard Thomas Frank was appointed, I was like a bit, not say a bit shocked, but I thought it looked like a good appointment because I know he's a good tactician. He knows how to get the best out of set pieces, and he's good. He's a very very balanced coach. He knows how to attack. He knows how to defend. But sometimes teams don't know how to sort of play against Spurs. So and I think when that time when he was a Brentford, he had employment visa. I think I could see what he's trying to do. And if he got kudos, I know using kudos as a demo.
But the thing is that you're talking about employment visa is that he developed them. So he's not a reporter. But when you're talking about your thoughts on Frank now is that what do you see in him? Do you watch the games, right? Do you see any kind of technical nuance and all the things that we talked about him, his coaching style, his tactics? Yes, one thing we have improved.
What I do see is the set pieces. Yeah, a lot of set pieces and very good in
and the long throws.
Oh yeah, long throws. Yeah, like I said, this is. I don't know why teams are not doing this, but set pieces and throw-ins and all these are very. I think the number one trend now, which I don't know why teams are not looking at. Very big trend. Spurs are doing that very well, but I think I think I would say your defense has improved a lot, but I think it's because I think Thomas Frank has trained the players how to work on it. I think the career I would say has improved I would say a little bit, but I think the midfield I would say is become much more physical, much more aggressive because of Palhinha there, and is making the tackles, picking up the ball, moving forward, and then you have Sa, who's also very. I mean, the what I like about Spurs, of course, I like it at Western, but I think the good thing is that I like is all your players are tall, they're able to hit the ball. So in the way I like. In terms of attack,
Now our players ain't big enough.
I mean, you have tall
Yesterday,
players, but
it showed against Newcastle. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, but
Right? But before we go on that, okay, yeah, Eva man, yeah, happy birthday to you on
happy
for
birthday.
November 3rd, right? I hope you have a good time in China, right? And I'll catch you in the next game, and enjoy yourself. Have a good birthday with your family, right? And have a good time there, right? But when you come to the point, right? At this moment in time, all the things that say about Frank, but I'm gonna give Frank time, right? He deserves that, right? Because he's just been here, I mean, for about 3 months, right? Our front line sucks. You get what I'm saying, right? Odegaard is improving a bit, right? Tell can't hit the ball when it's passed to him to score a goal, right? Richarlison is running either too forward or not coming in time to meet the balls, right? And talking about the only player that we have that looks a threat is Kudos. And every time now we have been sussed out, right? Clearly sussed out, right? All you have to do is double team Kudos, and we attack. You know what I'm saying, right? We can't rely on Odegaard. You look at the Aston Villa game. Did you watch that game? Right? How many times, right? We had the ball in the penalty box, right, and we couldn't do anything with it. You know, with Odegaard on it, right? So the sad part is that I have to accept the reality is that our front line sucks. They're terrible, right? Even if Kudos could swing the ball in, there's no one there to attack it. That's one thing, right? And yeah, even man, we'll catch up soon, right? The only thing I can see now, right, is hopefully in the January transfer window we do buy some players in the attacking sense to help bolster up the attacking sense and someone who's more creative, right? Because Xavi at the moment, to tell the truth, I'm not to say disappointed will be too strong of a word.
I think he looks like a good player. I think he looks when he played against us, I was like, he does look technical.
No, see, yeah, technically he's brilliant and all that, but the problem is that physically, right, he gets bundled over whenever he's got the ball. You get what I'm saying? Like yesterday, I was saying doing the watch along, right? Unless we have got this nimble kind of Messi kind of player who can run through everyone, then when it comes to Premier League, right? That's why maybe Messi never came to the Premier League, because he knows that if he comes to Premier League, right, he's gonna be chopped down every time he gets the ball. You get what I'm saying? And he gets chopped down every time he gets the ball, right? And that ain't gonna prolong his career. You get what I'm saying? Injuries come out. So for players like to be adapted in the Premier League, it's like Kudos. He's been like he had 2 seasons with you guys or so, right? About 2 seasons.
Kudos came in 2024, no, 2023-24. Yeah.
Yeah, 2023. So it's about 2 seasons.
Yeah,
with
2
you
seasons.
about 2 seasons.
The first season he was
now
good. Yeah, the first season he was good.
Second season he dropped off a bit. You understand? He dropped off a bit. Yeah, but to tell the truth, right, your whole squad dropped off that season. Remember?
So I wouldn't say that was close. That 2020
last season.
Last season, the last season,
the whole squad dropped off. Your whole squad dropped off. So it reflects on it, right? But at the moment in time, our tactics are being sussed out. You give Kudos the ball, double teaming, triple teaming. We can't do anything on the left. We can't do anything on the left because every time, Frank tried to play Brennan Johnson on the left, right? Every time, at one period of time, I sussed this out, right? Whenever Spence got the ball, right, when he ran down on the left, right, he dare not pass the ball to Brenda. You get what I'm saying? So it makes us weak on the left, right? And then we try to play Xavi on the left. It didn't work out, right? And the worst part is that we are not taking shots outside of the box, right? And somehow or another, we're still stuck in that tippy-tappy, trying to, tap in goals and all that, right? It's a joke, Our top scorer now is own goals. Think about that, But somehow or another, we spread through and we're third in the league, right? That's one. I don't know whether that's papering over the cracks, right? That they might be a collapse, but let's hang on in there until the January transfer window comes in and we can improve on our front three. That's how I see it, right? But defensively, we look solid. At times, we get caught off. Yes,
I see improvement compared to last season. Yeah, that one was all over the place.
Of course. Come on, Keshav. Of course, it's so easy to improve. Okay, I've got this analogy that goes on in my mind, right? When we had Mourinho, Nuno, and Conte, we were pragmatic. So when Ange came in, we pushed the ball forward, and everybody was excited. Remember, all we did was attack. Everyone was excited, right? So after 2 years of seeing that kind of football, right, and conceding loads of goals because Ange didn't want to focus on his defense, right, which I thought maybe we would give him this season a chance. Maybe he will know that, okay, you can attack now. Let's do something with defense, and maybe we will balance it out. But the problem now is that we've reached to a sense now. We've come back to the basics. We can defend well, but we can't attack. Right? I know defending well and organizing the defense is harder, right? But somehow we look solid in set plays and all that. But sometimes when teams, our defense in open play is still sus. You get what I'm saying? We like yesterday against Newcastle, their one-touch football just ran through us.
Oh yeah, I saw the highlights. Yeah,
you saw the highlights, right? Their one-touch football just ran through us, right? And we couldn't do much about it. So I don't know whether that's a Frank problem or it's a player problem. And to tell the truth, right, we don't have defenders at the moment. Romero is out, right? Dragazin is out, right? The Kai is out, right? And we let Vuskovic go out on loan, right? That's why that blows my mind, right? And we had to use Paulinho as the defender. That's why yesterday when that lineup came out, I said, why are we using Paulinho again? And it's so obvious if we do that, right? It's like we're not looking to win the game. You know what I'm saying? So for Frank I'm not sure. Your thoughts on Frank, my thoughts on Frank is that he's confusing the shit out of me at this moment in time. But I don't blame him because, being a new manager in a new club with a new group of players, he has to find out what players work, what players don't work, right? He's been throwing around his formations and his players all over the place, right? For you, what are your thoughts on Frank in watching the games that he's been in charge of Spurs?
Yeah, I've been watching. I've not the whole game, not the games of the full matches, but the highlights. I watched what was it? I did watch the Europa League. The highlights game, which was I think the Bodo Glimt. No, he didn't. Champions League. Champions League.
You're not in the Europa League.
Sorry, Champions League. Sorry, Champions League. That game I was a little bit like, I don't know. I was like
confused, right?
Not confused, but I was like shocked. How come Bodo Glimt got so many chances? Like kept on going and they were pressing and it's a continuous they kept on going on. They were getting a lot of chances. Then I was thinking, their defense got a little bit, targeted, I would say. But I think Bodo Glimt missed their chances. Then you suddenly, you came back. I think it was 2-0. I think, you came back in the game.
Yeah, we drew 2-2.
So, that was one which I thought, I think Spurs got away with it a little bit, I thought. But I think the other games...
to tell the truth, I think in the Champions League, right, Frank has not reached that level yet. He needs time to
of course, he's not to get that.
He's not reached that level yet, right? So all I can say that Frank needs time when he goes to the Champions League. Bro, against Monaco, right? The midfield we played, right, was so baffling, right? And Paulinho was in defense again, right? We had Bergvall and who else, right? Bergvall and Bentancur in midfield or something like that. We had a very young midfield. So I don't know. And to tell the truth, right, we were lucky to scrape the 0-0 draw game. To tell the truth, if Monaco had a little bit of quality, right, we would have been smacked that game. You can say, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, do you feel that Frank is the right fit for us at the moment?
I think, if you're looking at the pool of managers out there, I think for now, I think it's a step above, like from what you need. I think the trend of managers, I think, in looking at the outside, yeah, I think the step up if he were to need to make to Spurs, yeah. I'll say yes. I think he's brought in some good players, but I think some of the deadwood in Spurs, like if you ask me, who are they? I don't like, not say I don't like, but I don't rate Dragusin. I don't rate who's the guy? The
Bro,
midfielder.
we got Ben Davis is still there, bro.
Yeah, all
After
these
11
players that
years, Ben
you
Davis is
shouldn't
still
have.
there.
And then you have a
We're talking about players like in the front line. We got players like Tell, right?
yeah, Tal. I
During
don't
the
know.
edge,
He's not good. There's
yeah,
not
we got players like
consistent.
Tell. I don't even know why we signed him, right? There was a rumor saying some obligation. If he scores one goal, he's entitled. He needs to be signed, right? And he did
Don't
score that
know
one
kind
goal,
of.
so we had to sign him, right? But okay, let's look into the games coming up, right? You've got Newcastle. I think we did talk about it, right? Newcastle.
Mm.
You don't have confidence in beating them at home, right? But I was saying, right, maybe games that looks tough for you guys, you might just get some points there, right? Maybe 1 point will be a point for you guys, right? Well, what are your prediction for the Newcastle game?
I mean, these past few games, to tell you the truth, the Brentford game, I was like, because after coming the international break, I was like, okay, hoping for win. Then I watched the game, we lost 2-1. 2-1, I was okay, fine. Then the Leeds game, I was praying and hoping we win. Watch the game, I was like, okay, third minute they scored, I was like, okay, I'm going out of the room. Then after they scored 14 minutes, I say, okay, I'm going. I cannot, I said, this is really bad, I cannot watch. But I watched as a fan, of course you watch, right? And then, but this game, I don't know, lah. Of course, it's tough, but then the
Just give us a
protest.
prediction.
My heart, my heart would say a draw, but I think my head says 3-0.
My
It's
God, that's wide kind of a
yeah,
prediction. But okay,
3-0.
your heart, you wanna your deep down you wanna draw.
Of course, I would say draw. But I don't think we're gonna win. If you ask me to win, you take like proper defending. You have to tackle. You have to start in like the first minute. You have to really push. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Newcastle are too strong. They are really
Okay.
in a good form. Really good form.
All right, I'll just say for you, right. You get a 0-0 draw. Nuno will put a defensive masterclass, right,
Let's hope, lah. Let's
frustrate
hope.
frustrate Newcastle, right. Let's hope that happens for you guys. All right, do you know our game is big this weekend? It's
No, I know Chelsea. Yeah, I
the
know.
London derby. We got Chelsea at home, right? And all I can say, right, Daniel Levy has cursed us in the stadium. I think we'll be lucky to come away with a draw. But yesterday, I think after yesterday's game, right, I think Frank was more or less keeping one eye on that game because it's a London derby, right? And I think it's going to be one of those crucial London derbies that he has to focus on because it's at home and he wants to get a result there, right? Because we're having a very bad home form, right? But before I make my predictions, right, what do you think? Do you think, what's your predictions for Spurs and Chelsea?
This is a bit tough. I think might be to me. I think either a 1-1 draw. But if Spurs actually like start well, they do like they get. I mean, if they're tactically good and know what they're doing, then I would say 2-1. I think
Okay, to
Chelsea. The
Spurs.
problem with Chelsea is that I think they are like you in the sense they are good at set pieces and all. I mean, they've got a good like they've that depth of squad. I don't know how to say lah. They have really like a three times the squad of like any other club right now. I don't know how they're getting this amount of players. They have got a squad for Champions League, they've got a squad for a cup, and they've got squad for Premier. I don't know how they're doing it, but anyways, um, if you ask me, I think Chelsea. I mean, I don't know why Cole Palmer is Cole Palmer injured. I don't know if he's injured or
Yeah,
not.
he's still injured.
But if
Yeah.
you ask me Cole Palmer, I don't know whether he'll be in the squad. If let's say if he start available, I don't know if he's even fit to, or the manager would start him because the amount of players they have also don't know who to pick. But I think if Chelsea turn up, then I think maybe I don't know. I would say to me 1-1 draw of a 2-1 Spurs. I think Spurs might nick. I feel I don't know.
2-1 to Spurs. All right, my
I would
God,
say
you
2-1.
you
But
you you
Spurs
you're more
2-1 is
confident.
not good for now. Yeah, not good
Yeah,
for now.
you're more
Yeah.
confident than I am, right? With the curse, with the Daniel Levy curse, Chelsea coming to play, right? And to tell the truth, right, we always suck against Chelsea, right? I'll be happy with a draw, right? And I think most probably it'll end up 2-2, right? And to tell the truth, right, and our front line
Okay.
will score. most probably it'll be an own goal and a midfielder scoring. Most probably Palhinha will score again. 2-2 is my prediction for Chelsea. But all right, anything else you would like to say before we make a move?
That's it. Yeah. Let's hope
Yeah,
West Ham win. Yeah.
Let's hope West Ham wins. All right,
Yeah,
guys, thanks for being here. Before I make a move, of course, big up to Eva, man. Happy birthday to you again, Eva. Right, hope you're doing well. And of course, Mr. Puma, right? Hope you're doing well. And Robert is a Newcastle fan, right? And Brushy, thanks for being here. And number one in London, right? Guys, thanks for being here. Please don't forget, like, subscribe, and share it, right? Like, subscribe, and share, and give me some more viewing time, right? And hopefully you get 1,000 subscribers by end of 2030. Oh dear, right? But good luck to you, right? Okay, Keshav.
Yes, good luck to Spurs.
I don't care. Like I said, right? This season, Frank has got a Teflon armor covering him, so a lot of shit won't stick. But he will still get criticism from me if he, he deserves it, right? But guys, take care. Come on, you Spurs.